In this video, I'll be reviewing True Peace from level 100 to level 200. After opening the game again at level 100, I started doing the last quest I had left on Sacred Dawn Island. I felt as though I was really starting to understand the combat mechanics and how to utilize my abilities to combo. At the time, I was really enjoying the boss fights. However, as you'll see later in the video, these boss fights became progressively less interesting to me. I had to go back to Fuchsia Village to get Moonwalk as I had missed the quest initially, and after I got Moonwalk, getting on the map became a bit easier. I like how even though I had Moonwalk or Geppo, I still had to train it as it gave me a sense of progression in this aspect as I leveled it up. It was around this time that I found my first chest in game. Now chests mostly drop Pelly, but have a chance of dropping training tools according to the official True Peace Trello. Now chests are a fun small mechanic that I like to see in One Piece Roblox games, as they just provide another way for players to get belly and they somewhat encourage exploration. Later I got into my first PvP fight. Now I won fairly easily and this increased my bounty quite a lot. I beat the same guy 4 times in a row and this boosted my bounty and my confidence. PvP in True Peace is actually pretty fun and fairly grounded at my level, and I'm curious as to how my opinions on True Peace PvP will change as I progress later into the game. Next I bought a new ship, the Caravel. This ship was pretty expensive, but I think it was worth the investment as I didn't want to have to travel in a rowboat as that was taking ages. The next island that I went to was Orange Town, and after farming clowns on the island for some time, I got a katana item drop from a clown pirate. Now there was a small UI animation for the drop which was pretty cool, and after this I started using the katana as my primary weapon. However, later I had to switch in order to beat the Buggy Boss. Before I get into that though, I do want to briefly mention the cyborg quest on the island and some other things along with that. I like how in True Peace you unlock cyborg specific moves and 6 powers techniques as you progress through the early islands, as this allows players to try out a whole range of techniques early in the game. Furthermore, I personally felt as though it really made me feel like my character was getting progressively stronger in a way that was both useful in PvP and PvE. I found that the katana M1 animations in True Peace were actually pretty good, and on top of this, because I had been leveling up my stats passively, I could unlock sword moves without having to mess up my build, which was really nice to see. Anyway, let's get back into discussing Buggy Boss. Now, the Buggy Boss was my least favorite boss to fight so far, as personally I found the boss was fairly glitchy and just annoying in general. After beating Buggy, I moved on to the Freezer boss in the dojo. Now this is where I discovered an easy way to fight most of the bosses that I would encounter after this point. This method involved spamming Tempest Kick and Yakadori while an NPC was either stuck behind a wall or lower down than you so that you were out of reach. Now admittedly I could have fought the boss the proper way if I actually wanted to, but this did take away a bit of the challenge of the game for me, as it became so easy to beat bosses and NPCs, and one part of the game that I got to experience a lot of during my level 100 to level 200 playthrough was public server PvP. Now I managed to increase my bounty to 100k, which was nice as this had been a goal of mine since I had gotten to my first fight in the game. I found that most people were not very good at PvP and overall didn't understand blocking or comboing, and I think that perhaps my time playing GPO made me better at these sort of things, or perhaps I just got lucky in game. I still have not been killed by another player, which is nice. When it came time to move on to the next island, I discovered that the map part of the menu actually has a feature where you can click on an island and have a symbol put up above it on your screen so that it's easier to find. Now I personally prefer log poses to this sort of thing, but they essentially fulfill the same purpose, and I found this feature to be very convenient. Now upon arriving at Baratier, I experienced my first actual bug so far. I opened a treasure chest and it kicked me from the game. I assume this was just a Roblox issue and not really the fault of the True Peace developers. I found farming at Baratier especially easy, as there were plenty of walls for me to hide behind in order to farm NPCs, and the Krieg boss was also super underwhelming, and I personally thought the weapon model for his spear was not very good. It was just far too grey, and I wish they had at least made the colour of the staff part of it brown like wood, and the only other thing at Baratier worth mentioning was the Iron Body quest where I unlocked Iron Body. Now I like how the Iron Body or Tekai was fairly unique when compared to other One Piece Roblox games. It isn't an active technique but rather a passive that increases your block. Now to conclude, I found leveling from 100 to 200 in True Peace to be somewhat fun, but at this point the PvE elements of the game like bosses and NPCs have become relatively easy to farm, and I'm starting to develop interest in the PvP side of the game. It is really satisfying try to sneak up on another player and beat him in order to increase your bounty. I am excited to see what endgame PvP is like, and I am aware that an arena system is being added, so I'm excited for that too. That's really all I have to say on leveling from 100 to 200, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. I hope you have a great day, evening, whatever time it is, you guys, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys.